This is a story about the lawbreakers and law enforcers, the two extremes that came together on a human platform and underwent inner transformation by way of effective humane management. All of us want to break free of shackles, whether made of hard iron or of distressing thoughts. Each one of us is looking for peace and happiness, even if life may have worn us out. Despite all the trials and tribulations, the desire to embrace life and breathe freely never deserts one. Each one wants a drop of light that would illuminate our being and life. Each one. Located in New Delhi, Tihar remains the largest prison in Asia and one of the largest in the world. It housed around 10,000 prisoners in the year 1993. Over a decade later, it has around 13,000 inmates. Being locked up is bad enough, but in Tihar, a human being could forget he was once human. Wrinkled with grief and hopelessness, isolated and helpless, scared and forlorn. Some innocent, others not. They all await their freedom. Until over a decade ago, the jail staff was trained under the old tradition of repression and felt that the inmates were nothing but criminals who deserved to be ruled by the power of the stick. We all have dreams, some fulfilled, others not, wherein one eye tirelessly sees them, the other, blinded by harsh reality, is often desolate, clouded, and lonely. In India, the wheels of justice move very slowly. A pickpocket may find himself waiting for 6 years to serve a 1-year sentence. Established in 1958, Tihar Jail was and continues to be India's best-known high-security prison. Prior to 1993, it was notorious for its inhuman conditions and was branded as a veritable hell on earth. The jail staff believed that if prisoners were meted out harsh treatment, they would think twice before committing another crime for fear of being sent back to Tihar. Tihar as of today consists of 7 prisons. One of them is reserved for the accused women and their dependent children, who too long for open spaces beyond bars. Drug use and violence are common problems in almost any prison. But in Tihar, prior to 1993, their magnitude surpassed most, if not all, prisons in the world. This police vehicle is carrying the new Inspector General of Tihar Jail. The new officer in charge knew that the job was going to be very challenging.
Prison posting was considered as a punishment posting, a dumping posting. But what you do with that finally depends on you. Even when this posting was considered a punishment posting, for me it was a great reward because you're going to deal with human beings.
The first ever woman police officer in India, Dr. Kiran Bedi, immediately got down to acquainting herself with the inmates at Tihar.
I've been accused of murder. The most distressing factor in my life is, that I have left a daughter who's about 6 years old outside. So I try not to think about her, because if I think about her, it pains me a lot.
I wish I had not hurt the child. I never expected this to happen.
I was awarded capital punishment in 1983 for a triple murder case in Ahmedabad. I appealed to the High Court and my sentence was reduced to life imprisonment.
Put here on NDPS charge.
We feel suffocated, being locked up all the time.
Loneliness and remorse, regret and restlessness defined the anguish of the inmates. Tihar was a perfect training ground for the alleged offenders who fell prey to the devious tactics of hardcore criminals, who in turn were almost entirely consumed by bitterness and a yearning for revenge.
I curse the officer who's put me behind bars. May he never be successful in life. Can anyone be happy staying away from their family? We're all the time locked up in here. I have 4 kids and my husband is a poor rickshaw puller. How can he fulfill our needs? It has been 6 months since I met my family. You also don't have a solution, do you?
A person feels very depressed and ultimately they turn very hard-hearted. And when you turn hard-hearted, then there is no reform.
Prisoners were a depressed class of people and they needed to be given a new mindset.
In order to reform the inmates, Bedi had to bring about a total change in the attitude of her own staff first. She knew that above all, prisoners needed understanding, love, and a certain amount of freedom. Transforming the mindsets of human beings was a daunting task, but not so for the determined Bedi. Slowly but surely, the jail staff started becoming more humane, and under the guidance of the Inspector General, encouraged the inmates to interact with their relatives and friends more often. It was important to keep the prisoners in touch with their finer feelings. The inmates were not mere depressed shadows and could not be treated with disregard. They too had to come alive from being the punished and the persecuted to becoming normal human beings. So it was decided that the haunting shadows of the past would be replaced by a promise of the present, however modest. The root cause of the problem lay in the outdated wooden system that had to give way to a responsive administration. A fresh beginning had to be made and a new insight developed. The inmates' dependent children became Bedi's prime concern. A spacious, cheerful creche was set up for the little people.
How do you like it in here? We love it.
The inmates were encouraged to apply their mind to constructive, if not creative work. Once a variety of activities and education were introduced, the inmates responded with enthusiasm and began to rediscover their self-worth while making some pocket money as well. Bedi felt the need to impart skills that would instill confidence in the inmates and financially sustain them on their release from Tihar. Tihar was fast becoming an ashram, a dwelling of human beings, no longer a place of irate, defiant and bitter individuals. The reforms reinforced the fact that the human mind needed sanguinity and productivity. The desire to come alive was revived with every sunrise. Bedi embarked on motivating prison administration, prisoners and the community at large towards one common goal: correction through the collective approach. Bedi saw first signs of blossoming in the prison inmates. Having tapped limitless human potential, the sensitive and reflective Bedi was looking for a deeper, enduring transformation. After all, she was dealing with complicated, traumatized minds. How does one help guilt-ridden criminals overcome their dark past and threatening negative emotions? How does one help anguished alleged offenders seething with anger and frustration? She wanted to help the inmates connect within. Bedi's genuine search finally led her to a lasting solution that came from one of her junior officers at Tihar, Mr. Rajendra Kumar.
Dr. Kiran Bedi joined our department in 1993. She held a meeting and said that she wanted to bring about a total transformation in the jail environment. I told her that I had done a course in Vipassana meditation and it had brought about a big change in me. I felt that the prisoners and jail staff would also benefit from the course.
Dr. Bedi at once called Mr. S.N. Goenka, the Vipassana Guru, and requested him to conduct a course in Vipassana meditation at Tihar.
We tell the offenders not to think of themselves as prisoners. Even the common man is a prisoner. We are all prisoners of our mind's defilements. Prisoners are unhappy because they are away from their families and they harbor negative emotions. There is only one solution: to transform their inner selves.
Vipassana brings out latent aspirations as also hidden fears and memories.
After she has taken over, many facilities have been provided and everyone has benefited from the reforms.
Always happy to see Kiran, the little inmate, like all others, was baffled by the news of her caring auntie leaving Tihar. A metamorphosis from criminality to humanity had been achieved. India watched with pride as Dr. Kiran Bedi was honored with the prestigious Magsaysay Award for sensitive, humane administration at Tihar. Soon after, Bedi was transferred to the police training school at New Delhi. The new assignment was again perceived as another punishment posting.
Same tag, a dumping assignment, a backyard assignment, a punishment assignment, a getaway assignment where you can get lost. You're not coming in the way of anybody and nobody's really concerned how much you do, what little you do. When I came here and I saw I actually saw depression writ large in this police training college. Down the line, everybody was unwanted. The student felt unwanted because the teacher thought the job was unwanted. So it was an unwanted feeling. You have two kinds of police officers. One is the new inductees, and you have these seniors like me and this higher in age group. They're unhappy with the way the department dealt with them. They're unhappy with all things that happened to them. They're unhappy because they never got the promotions in time. They didn't get the postings of their choices. They got punished wrongly, or they didn't get rewarded when they should. So there are a lot of bottled up depression and anger and complaints. Second category is, which is seeing this bottling up, which is going to be supervised by the bottled up, which is also going to get it back from them. And sad people never give joy and happiness. When you're teaching a police officer, you're teaching for the next 40 years. Each one before you is 40 years from now. All 40 years. And in each day, if he's going to meet 100 people, 100 into 365 days into 40 years. That's the kind of touch we're talking about. My teachers suddenly realized we're not just teaching, we're into a whole world of an evolution. It's the willingness of that individual human mind which will sustain acquisition of knowledge or team spirit or initiative or honesty or courage or the extra mile giving. So therefore you have to address finally the human mind.
Kiran Bedi ensured that the human mind be addressed at all levels. Daily ethics class included spiritual songs from all possible religions, binding recruits in a rare kind of camaraderie.
May all beings be happy. Why? Because you're happy within yourself. So happiness is never individually restricted. That's the brilliant joy. And you want the entire sunshine to come to you. But then you don't absorb it. You want to reflect it back.
The young recruits seemed to enjoy the rigorous physical training, and the desire to take off said it all.
When we came here, we felt we had come to a jungle, a wild place with overgrown grass and shrubs. We wondered how we'd be able to train in such an unkept place. We worked hard at clearing it, and it has become so pleasant that when Madam told us to go home for the festival of Rakhi, we didn't feel like leaving this place. Through the Art of Living program, the kind of training that is being imparted to us in self-policing is one of a kind. When we asked a British police officer if such training was given in the United Kingdom, he had no answer. This is the result of the efforts made by Dr. Kiran Bedi. When we graduate from this place, we will change the image of the police. It will be very different from the prevalent one. We will try to be worthy of our training.
That's exactly what I want the police officers to be. Make the use of your posting, whatever you have now, before this also becomes a yesterday, while you're worrying about tomorrow's posting. Just do your best with whatever you get today, because there's just enough to do wherever you are. They already have their young anxieties. Where am I getting my posting? Whether I'll have a house. Their integrity temptations will be very high. They'll be right on the road where people will be offering them a lot of money and temptation. They may be taking things which is not their right. They may be doing injustice when actually justice for reasons of temptation, a transfer, a posting, an obliging. They have a lot of anxieties. What kind of seniors will they get? What kind of orders will they be able to say yes or no? So they are full of anxiety. That man is going to be very highly stressed. So let's prepare before he cocks himself. We have to, during training, give them the most powerful tools of managing their own anxieties. And the seniors never had such opportunities to get it at training. And here we try to give them at training, right at the source, they get the tools to manage their anxiety from day one.
I'll definitely take part in Vipassana, come what may.
And with this, Dr. Kiran Bedi brought Vipassana to the police training school, for she was more than convinced that a human mind needed a strong anchor to sustain itself and to evolve.
What we're about to undergo is a way to understand who we are deep within and rid ourselves of flaws through Vipassana.
Again, Vipassana could never come in isolation. We have in our training a spiritual hour called the Human Values Hour, where different teachers are coming and sharing with them why it is necessary for them to be good human beings.
We have been given a golden chance to learn Vipassana. Madam wants us to become physically, mentally and spiritually strong. Through Vipassana, I want to discover how the divine energy within us works.
How does it feel? It feels good, for I am soon going to sit for Vipassana. Tomorrow morning, we'll be there when you start your course. But once your course commences, you'll be left under the care of your Vipassana instructors. And this is a historical course. Never has a course of this magnitude ever been held anywhere in the world.
As the recruits await the arrival of the instructors of Vipassana meditation, they break into a spontaneous song. The vehicle with the instructors enters the moonlit lanes of the police training school. Vipassana courses conducted by Mr. S.N. Goenka and his vast team from all over India offer selfless service to mankind without any financial consideration whatsoever. During the 10 days long course, Vipassana meditators have to abstain from wrong thoughts and deeds, intoxicants, telling lies, and killing of any living beings. Encaved in our own entangled world, laboriously walking the endless desert of life, surmounting its unlimited challenges. Mostly lonely, often lost and restless, torn within, at times bleeding. Mostly knotted. We do not breathe easy, Not always. What are we looking for? A brilliant life. Vipassana helps us look at ourselves in a focused manner. It is a journey within. A journey through crooked lanes, through fears and joys. What is this road looking for? A peaceful destination. What is darkness looking for? Radiance. Slowly, our inner knots begin to unfold. What are these incoherent emotions and sensations causing anxiety? Suddenly, confusion snaps, and I feel like a fragrant particle of dust soaking in the freshness of a raindrop. Exquisite and unique. In between meditation sessions, simple, wholesome vegetarian meals are provided that keep the mind and body alert during the 10-day-long course. Throughout the course, the Vipassana student is required to observe complete silence in order to remain constantly in touch with his or her inner self. Chirping in one's soul begins with purification of one's mind. Vipassana is a journey of courage taken with closed eyes, where the mind encounters various turbulences, upheavals, deprivation, helplessness, destruction. But the sky cannot be measured by the size of one's window. As we get deeper into Vipassana, our inner space starts expanding. Having surmounted our most traumatic memories and emotions by way of looking within, we break free of heavy suffocating chains of inner imprisonment and enter a new space of quietude. From saturated passive participants, we become alert observers of life. Vipassana helps us discover our own rhythm and carve our own future. Life can be a journey of bondage or liberation. The choice rests with us. In Vipassana, one observes the natural breath as it is, as it comes in and as it goes out. By continuously focusing on one's breath, one develops an insight into one's own nature. Vipassana teaches you the technique of watching yourself. Vipassana is experiencing one's own intimate reality by systematic, dispassionate observation of the ever-changing mind-matter phenomenon that manifests itself in the form of various sensations on one's body. The Vipassana student gradually develops equanimity by learning not to react to them. During meditation, we experience tender and happy feelings as well. The meditator here too observes herself impartially till she reaches a stage where she gets an objective, aerial view of life.
You leave it back to the individual initiative, but you have somewhere made the clock of the spirituality tick. A sound is also heard. It gets suppressed, it becomes louder. And I've not seen anybody saying, suppress it. I don't want to hear it. Because these 10 days teach you to listen to your own clock.
As we throw light on our misdeeds and weaknesses, by looking inwards, we slowly begin to heal. The process of self-purification through focused introspection is certainly never easy. Students have to work hard at it. Through persistent endeavor, a student arrives at his own individual realization, as no one else can do it for him. Therefore, meditation will benefit only those willing to work seriously and observe the discipline, which in turn brings great rewards for the meditator. Students are free to share their experiences with their respective instructors and seek guidance to get maximum benefit from this scientific technique. As one gets deeper into meditation, impurities at the subconscious level begin to get eroded. Instead of flowing against our natural, wonderful self, we begin to flow with life. The incarcerated, conditioned mind is set free. As I looked within, I entered a dark space that slowly got illuminated, transporting me to freedom hitherto unknown to me. An aware mind acquires the ability of flying above the center of gravity. No obstacle can pull it down. One becomes one's own master. During the meditation camp, discourses by Mr. S. N. Goenka are screened every evening, reinforcing the fact that breathing is universal and has nothing to do with any religion, culture, or country. All human beings breathe alike, and the technique of Vipassana involves concentration on one's breath, which in turn cleanses the mind. To quote Mr. Goenka,
although taught by Gautama the Buddha, he was not interested to establish a sect. Suffering humanity, if they get this wonderful technique, they will come out of their misery. And in the same tradition, people are given this technique. Although conversion is involved, the conversion is that you will get converted from misery to happiness. You will get converted from bondage to liberation. You will get converted from ignorance to enlightenment. One joins a course like this to make a very deep surgical operation of one's mind. Deep surgical operation brings out very deep-rooted impurities on the surface of the mind. Come out of this unpleasantness and then only practice Metta Bhavana. And as a Vipassana meditator, one has fully realized that real happiness will come only if one is liberated from the defilements. So may all beings be liberated from their defilements. And a stage will also come when these vibrations of love and compassion cannot remain limited to the framework of your body. They start oozing out of every pore of your body. The entire atmosphere will get charged with the electricity of love, compassion, goodwill, purity, peace, harmony, Dhamma, Dhamma, Dhamma.
A Delhi police officer should be not only physically but also mentally alert. Vipassana helps us understand ourselves better. For police personnel, maintenance of mental equilibrium is extremely important. If they are dishonest or prone to favoritism, they would be failing in their duty. I have just heard your views on Vipassana meditation. It is clearly evident that you all have benefited from it. From now on, all police personnel will undergo this course.